Hi Paul, the PFS has landed for your Bekisopa iron ore project in Madagascar with some chunky numbers. You must be pleased.
Very pleased. A lot of work's gone into it over the last 15 months. The PFS confirms a very robust Stage 1 direct ship ore project. A project that's got strong financials, good operational, environmental and product credentials. As you know and our shareholders know, which is why they're following us, our project has good grades. We're seeing life of mine grades of 62% lump and 61% fines. These are grades that are going to be sought after and make the Bekisopa product in demand once we get into operation. I'd like to think that there's very few projects like Bekisopa. We're ticking all the boxes as we progress to this stage now of the PFS. Also with the PFS, our strong expectation is that potential strategic investors will re-engage, and that's going to be another busy and exciting time for the company.
Well, yes, with steelmakers around the world looking to reduce emissions, high-grade, high-purity iron ore, certainly of the kind that Bekisopa will produce, would make you top of the list, I would think. The PFS shows a $60 million spend. Will return a pre-tax cash flow of $310 million over 6 years. Not a bad investment, is it?
Now look, it's a very good investment. We've continued to confirm the low capital case for the startup operation. Yeah, 61 million of capital, and that includes owners' costs and EPCM costs, which weren't there previously. So really good numbers, good cash flow. With the mine life and the increased tonnes from the MRE, we've been able to have a faster ramp up. So the payback's only 1.8 years. So really good financial numbers. And in amongst all of those, for me as an operating person, the important one is our C1 cash costs, $42 a tonne. That means that Bekisopa is going to be a very sustainable, financially viable project going forward, regardless of the benchmark iron ore price.
Well, AKORA's endgame is to produce a high-grade 68% plus iron grade product for green steelmakers. The PFS was done for a Stage 1 direct shipping ore product, which will get you into cash flow quicker, as I understand it. Is that right?
Absolutely. Now that's the strategy. We're blessed at Bekisopa, having the DSO at surface, so negligible stripping ratio, good cash flow as we mine and produce the product from a very simple processing plant, crushing, screening, a bit of magnetic separation to produce the products, generate good cash, and then we can use that cash to make this process more reliable over time, but importantly, fund the future Stage 2 when we look to mine the fresh rock, the massive fresh magnetite ore body, and make a very high grade, low impurity iron concentrate for DRI pellets going forward.
Now, going back to capital costs, the low capital costs, you've been able to keep them low because the processing for Stage 1 is simple, isn't it?
Contractor mining and contractor road hauling to port. So that's a standard practice. Processing is mobile crushing and screening plants, and we've incorporated in the second mobile crushing and screening unit a magnetic drum to upgrade the lower grade material to product quality. So yeah, very simple process. Basically, it's no drilling and blasting, as we've mentioned in our previous announcements. It's dig it up, crush and screen, and then get it to the port on a ship to the customer. Very straightforward, low-cost operation.
Now, what I really like about the story is that it's led by you, a long-time iron ore seasoned veteran, and you're joined by Graham Hunt, your chairman, who's been around iron ore circles for many, many decades. I get the sense that you know your way around decreasing risk when it comes to this project. You know all the risks, and you know how to make them smaller, I suppose. Would that be right?
One of the good things about having people on the board like Graham and Matt is they've got operating experience, project development experience, and they certainly test us and challenge us and question what we're doing. From the scoping study to now, we've increased the knowledge of all aspects of the process, from community, environment, crushing, haul road haulage, and so on, and the port study. And one of the good things about us being pushed is that we're not locked in. We challenge things and we look for the best, most efficient way forward. And one of the changes from the previous work is that at the port, the bypass road takes us from the national highway outside of the town of Toliara directly to the existing port, and that makes that a viable option for us, particularly in the ramp-up years, but potentially beyond that, to load the barge and then load the bulk vessels off to market.
Now, I suppose on the topic of risk, many investors might say, not Africa, not for me, but you describe Madagascar as a very stable place to do business. You've got a lot of affection for the place.
Look, I've been travelling there for I don't know how long now, maybe 7 years, could be 8. What I'm seeing and what's being delivered by the government in the last 2 years has been significant. New mining code, implementation procedures on how to enact that mining code. So that's all been very good. We've had good dialogue with the Mines Ministry. They see AKORA's Bekisopa project as a key project for the country going forward and are working with us. They've introduced us to the other ministries and, like the roads and public works, the maritime and ports. So we're dealing with these people with a good level of connection and engagement. We've also got the process for renewing tenements. So we're in that first 100 tenements to be renewed. So we're expecting news very soon on the renewal of the tenements. And that's a huge step forward and a big change from what's been there before. Now look, I'm very comfortable both with working there, the quality of the people, the enthusiasm, but more importantly in the last year and a half, 2 years, the improvements by the Madagascan government to make sure mining is an industry that is going to progress in Madagascar.
Well, Madagascar must be doing something right, Paul. It's become a bit of a mining hotspot, hasn't it?
Since the mining code implementation procedures were all finalised, late last year, exploration and development companies have come back into Madagascar. Like I said, there's over 100 tenements being renewed because these people want to get on and explore. Companies have listed in recent times on the Australian and London stock exchanges to start their work in Madagascar. Romanians are there, the Chinese are there, Canadians, Australians. There's a lot of activity happening, and we're seeing good progress and support for the mining industry. As a result of that, the World Bank has announced, and the President of the country has announced, the upgrading of the RN7 highway, because they see the amount of activity that's coming forward in the next few years, and they need that road to be a key highway getting to the port of Toliara.
So a PFS that is drawing the attention of the world. What are the next steps to go to production, and when would you expect that could be?
Yeah, look, always a difficult one to stick your neck out and say that, but look, we're working hard to have a final investment decision by the middle of next year. So Jason and the team, geologists and others, have identified the key items of work to progress post the PFS. We've, as I mentioned, engaged already with the key ministries prior to the PFS being released, but we'll have that in person once the PFS is out. So yeah, let's all being well, we've got to get the tenements renewed, which is in process, get them converted to mining permits. We've got the support of the Mines Minister to do that, so there's high expectation that will be achieved this year. And then we will have a very short construction period. It's like a 9 to 12 months construction period to get first material from the mine to the port, and then ramp up over the next 2 to 3 years to full production. And all being well, first shipments, third quarter of 2027. So a lot of work to be done again once the PFS is out.
So really exciting times for AKORA, substantial resource, proven market, proven team, and now a very clear path to production. It all seems to be stacking up for you, Paul.
I really appreciate the support of our shareholders. I get lots of calls and emails and encouragement. We've done a lot in 4 and a bit years since listing, and that's because it's a good ore body. All right, it's a good ore body. The materials at the surface, good grades. Like I said, 62% life of mine lump, 61% life of mine fines, product grades, good cash costs. And Madagascar is doing the right things for us to make sure we get into production sooner rather than later.